Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. This is a Blitz tourney game. This is from the semi-final, I believe, of a Blitz tourney hosted by Mountain. We have Blitz tourneys on the daily, ladies and gentlemen, and anyone can join them. Maybe they're not exactly daily, but it feels like it's very close to daily at this stage, thanks to Chief Jaguar, Mountain, Blodir, Morax, Moonbear hosting, Eggroll I think is going to host some of the Legend Stars qualifier tournaments. So if you also want to get involved in hosting tournaments or just get involved playing tournaments, watching them, learning from some of the players that are playing, you should. The map. This is this first is a semi-final game, I think. This map, this tournament hosted by Mountain was all 5x5 maps, this Blitz. And we had best of 3 in the winner's bracket, best of 1 in the loser's bracket to try and help with the scheduling. Considering there are always a lot more loser's bracket games than winner's bracket games. We have a little lab running out. First lab from ThomasHiatt. Now they already played a game on this map and drew. Blodir went for a move with the ACU down here, and then Thomas followed him all the way up the map and got the draw. But we have a first lab aiming for the Hydra. Blodir's moving to the Hydra. He already has 2 engineers there. Oh, 19 HP on this guy. And he's forced away. The ACU cannot shoot past the little hill there. Saved by the terrain. Doesn't take any damage, and he's going to leave. And maybe go up to the corner. 2 engineers at the hydrocarbon for Thomas, and another lamp factory after 3 mexes. You can see he's delaying mexes here because you get 6 mexes in your starting base on Canis River. That's going to drain a lot of your power if you actually go and try build all those very quickly. He would rather have build power. Now he's going to finish the mexes and just go for another factory. He doesn't need any more power because he has equivalent of 8 power generators. Now Lab gets into the base and he's gonna get a kill. Oh, takes a little bit of damage from the reclaim and is microing a little bit, and a lab comes out from Blodir. It's gonna chase after and they draw. Still good start from Thomas, I would say. Decent start. Oh, their Mantis from Blodir playing under his obfuscation account, and that's not what you want to shoot, so he moves in, spots it of course, and he also has an undefended engineer here, so that these Mantis kind of missed each other and each got a kill. There's quite nice reclaim around this map. In the rivers we have plenty of rocks. You can see this guy's on a mission to grab some of that, and here we have 2 Mantis just shooting into this little hill instead of at each other. And this man is going to get taken out again, shooting at the hill. This is quite hilly around this area and difficult to maneuver. I feel like since I got my graphics card died, which is why I had a couple of weeks with no videos, and I feel like my game is running faster since I got the graphics card. And I know my game definitely ran slower than other people's, even when it said there was no delay or anything, no sim lag. I know my game actually ran slower for whatever reason. Maybe it was the graphics card, because this definitely feels just a bit faster. Anyway, we have good fight over here. 2 kills on this guy. I think he finished off the Mantis that were raiding, and this engineer died, but whatever Mantis was down here has been cleaned up at some point. Now we have no one going for T2 land or anything. Just have a lot of spam. We have no air either, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost a 6th factory here. We have 6 factories already for Thomas, so a bit ahead on total mass, a bit ahead on factories. And also ahead on generated mass. So Thomas with the better start here. Slightly better raids. This was good from him. The first lab probably threw Blodir off a little bit. Blodir seemed to go very heavy on engineers at the start. And now we have a nice use of the Mantis build power, trying to get this PD up, as this engineer has barely survived a raid, it seems. And there's a lot of Mantis here, a lot more than what Thomas has, but very good use of the build power on the Mantis there. Gets the PD up and he's going to be able to defend this. And now another advantage of the Mantis actually is that when you start assisting things, start building with the Mantis group up into a very tight group, and if there's only tanks, that is very good, because then you get all the Mantis firing. It's basically the ultimate formation for fighting tank versus tank. Is you want them as close as possible together, so they're all firing at the one target. They're all fighting together. Now, if there's a single Medusa and it drops, then it's going to be very bad. It's going to hit. I mean, it could probably hit 10 Mantis almost, but Mantis versus Mantis, it's actually very good for fighting, and I think that's what just happened there. And now, and we also got 5 kills on the PD, so that's a very nice swing in terms of units here, and also reclaim left for ThomasHiatt if he can get some engineers out there. He's also building an air factory. Now he's not getting any adjacency on the air factory, unfortunately, but he is the first player going air. We have no air from Blodir, and you can see he has a lot less power generators. So it's also going to mean Blodir is very far away from making a gun upgrade, very far away from making air, and very far from being able to use much overcharge as well. So Thomas, yeah, far more power for Thomas, and that is a very good thing for him. He can make use of that. Does he have an energy storage? Doesn't look like it. We also, I think Thomas maybe could do a bit better getting the reclaim here. We see there's natural reclaim. Looks like he's going to grab it now, maybe. Yes, you can see in these rivers there's some big rocks and a lot of smaller rocks. This is really a key part of the map now. Blodir going deep here with no units. Now he can retreat across the river if he gets into serious trouble. Now the ACU can follow him and keep shooting while in the river, but the units of course are going to have to go through the tiny choke points here. There's a lot of mass building up on this side of the map, and on this side actually Thomas is going to lose a lot of HP. Now I don't know if he's at risk of dying, but Thomas has to react quickly. That was an overcharge. 14 kills on the ACU now. 700 vet points. Blodir moving in close to him has a significant advantage in HP, which is very good for him, and only a slight disadvantage in terms of veterancy. And actually Blodir brought all of his units back in this direction, and maybe that was an error. Actually, gestures coming out. No air scout, which would give away that he's actually making air. Of course, Blodir without air has no idea that that there could be an air factory here. And Blodir still has the HP advantage. But let's look at the units though. This raiding by the Jester can't be stopped. We have 42 Mantis, and right now, well, slightly more for Blodir there, and Blodir also has the superior HP. But this is a very good fight. Blodir losing a lot of HP to the Mantis here. Good fight for Thomas. 27 kills. He's securing the expansion behind him. Gonna start reclaiming as well. On the right side, finally some Medusa are here to take out the PD, which has defended well. And these units coming in have no defense against the Jesters, and the Jesters are going to clean that up eventually. A huge amount of mass for Thomas, actually. That is really a lot of mass that he has in the bank, and he really is winning this game. This PD that went up has successfully helped him defend this position, and he's simultaneously held this and this. And on a map with not that many mexes, you can see Blodir is missing a lot of his, and he's never been able to really take this or this. And so Thomas has actually been able to hold his map control very well. Now he has lost some map control, but in return he has actually banked so much mass, and he has now air. He has a lot of gestures. He's planning a lot of factories, probably too many factories. It's one of the things you got to be careful of, is that you don't just put all your stored mass into factories, because then, well, you're not going to be able to run the factories anymore because your mass will run out. Factories are pretty expensive, 240 mass. And that's 240 mass you could probably put into units. So I don't think he can really afford to make all these factories, unless he gets a lot of reclaim. But these gestures are very, very valuable. Have we seen any? No. Oh, we have an air factory building from Blodir, but he has no power to use this. Still has not added power actually since I last checked. It was 240 to 360. Blodir still on 240 power. And Thomas making great headway. Very nice formation here. A factory goes down. That's not cheap. And Blodir forced to pause some factories, it seems. Doesn't really have the mass. And Thomas needs to be careful here that he doesn't actually give away a draw. He still has a significant HP disadvantage. Actually, Blodir has about twice as much HP. Thomas, you can see, has done better with his ACU. Gotten significantly more damage done with that thing. And also has a PD up on the front line as well. Now on this side, Blodir has been grabbing some reclaim. You can see he's now adding some power where he can. This is actually vulnerable. This could get killed by gestures. And actually the ACU is under fire from gestures. Losing a lot of HP now. Forced back. There's no anti-air. Where is the anti-air? Oh, well, now several factories building mobile anti-air. But he's lost about 2,000 HP. Going to lose about 3,000 HP now. Time for Thomas to flee, save the gestures. An interceptor comes out. One gesture goes down. Unfortunately, it seems to have landed in the water, so that's going to give a lot less mass for him. And we have a nice, we have quite a few Medusa mixed in. A lot more for Thomas than for Blodir, it seems. And now the right side is open to raiding. The PD has never gone up here. And it looks very, very good for Thomas at this stage. Bigger army, for sure. Oh, only 17 Mantis now. Blodir has so much mass in the bank. And he has paused factories. Oh, that's some bad mistakes here, actually. Just constant micro from both players is really damaging their macro. Because they're constantly in a battle between ACUs, units on multiple sides of the map. Again, Blodir has to run away as the Jester rains down, and the Medusa also doing significant damage, no doubt. When they manage to hit, he was doing a decent job dodging the Medusa shots, but now this looks like the end. Medusa pouring in. Blodir cannot spend his mass. Well, he could have. He had some idle stuff though. That was very unfortunate. I don't think he maybe he didn't realize he had these paws. But now with virtually no army left, no air, his air factory has just been killed, and oh, he has a couple inties. But yeah, this is just about the end. I think Blodir will call it quits. Maybe he could have stolen a draw from Thomas. I feel like there was an opportunity. He could have done it. He did have a lot more HP at some stage than Thomas. Now Thomas has more HP. You can see Thomas 2,800 damage or points for veterancy, 1,800 for Blodir. Shows you Thomas has done a better job using his ACU versus units. He did give up that HP advantage for a reason. He got kills with it. And that is that. I think the Jesters killed a lot of units here in front of the base when Blodir was attacking this way. And overall, I think Thomas had a slight advantage at the start anyway. And this PD that went up and held this, holding this this map control here for a long time for Thomas is really, I think, was the first real real significant advantage, and he maintained it and fought with his ACU versus ACU here. Didn't allow Blodir to get the other side of the map where he would have gotten the balanced map control here. But yeah, well played, Thomas. This was semi-final of the Blitz tournament. This was, I think, this was the second game of the best of 3. The first one was a draw, so they had to replay this map. Thomas wins this one, wins it quite well, and I might cast another few from this tournament because we don't see much 5x5 casted, because, well, generally people like longer games and want to see big robots crash into each other. But 5x5 has its own charm. A lot of, well, you have to be more precise, I think. Every few units wasted is a bigger deal. Every factory added requires a bit more thought, maybe. And every fight just needs a little bit more micro to get everything out of it. So well played, Thomas. The lover of 5x5 beats Blodir. And hope you enjoyed this video, and you will check out the next one. I'll see you soon.